Welcome to Graya Overload. I'm Anthony, and Microsoft is now putting the latest Windows 10 update out for everyone. With Windows 10 now getting the May 2019 update, or the version 1903, this will be finally the update we've been looking for. Microsoft kind of a soft launch last month with preview insiders beforehand and slow ring insiders. So they were trying to make sure it was stable before releasing it out to everybody. And now that that month has passed, it is being pushed out to everyone out there. Now, this is still going to be a slow rollout. So what's going to happen if you want the update and you have the latest 1803 or 1809 updates, right underneath where you click after you check for updates, there should be something called download and install. And there's a link below of Microsoft kind of explaining this a little bit, but that's how you're going to be able to get the update. Now, if you are going to be at the end of a life of a Windows 10 version, so a prior Windows 10 version, different update, they will automatically update you to this over a period of time after it's been released, and they kind of know that it's pretty stable and there's no other really major issues with it. The last update, 1809, there were some major issues, from the Microsoft side, and Microsoft's hoping that they're going to avoid this with this sort of staggered rollout. Only time will tell if that really works. But some of the things that Microsoft was introducing in this update was there's not much to it. They did a lot of fine tuning. I feel like they are trying to make it a little bit more stable. But time will tell to see if that's really true. I haven't had as many issues with it on my computer. I'm testing it on the fast ring while I was using it, but there were still some annoyances, and I'm hoping that those get ironed out with more people on it. I have submitted feedback, and if you have any issues, make sure you do that as well. But one of the first things that they introduced was the light theme. So now, if you're a dark theme fan, you've already been having that. But if you're a light theme fan, like the lighter colors, now you have that option. So that is in there. Going to your settings, and you can change that. Windows Search and Cortana are now split. I have mixed views on this. I kind of like using them both interchangeably, but I was probably in the minority there. However, Windows Search does seem to be slightly improved, ever so slightly. It still needs a lot of work in order to get better at searching for my own files on the computer, and that's one thing where I still think it has a downfall in. But Microsoft did split them up and slightly improved it. I'm hoping that there's more improvements here coming soon in the next version. You can now uninstall more of the apps that come with Windows 10 that are, the Microsoft ones. So more of those, if you don't want them on your computer, you don't use them, get rid of them, throw them out. You can now right click uninstall on them, and that will allow you to move forward without that clutter on your computer. Thank you, Microsoft, for finally allowing us to uninstall stuff we didn't want in the first place. Now we can also pause updates for 7 days at a time, up to 35 days. And this is on the home version as well. This, I think, is one of the biggest changes here coming to Windows. It allows us to, if there's a bad update out there, you can go out and pause it before you get that bad update and ruins your computer experience. I like what Microsoft finally did here. Hopefully it works. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of people being forced to update before we can go forward. However, there's updates after 35 days. You are forced to update before you can then pause it for another 7 up to 35 days. So you basically can only be 35 days behind before you're forced to upgrade. Now, on all new installs of Windows 10, they're going to come with reserved storage. This is to help with newer updates as they come out so that you don't have a shortage of storage space. And while I think that this is a good move on Microsoft, it's going to increase the size of the overall OS kind of because it's going to have a reserved space for updates. I do think that Microsoft should have kind of made it an option to enable on systems that are already out there. So if you wanted to reserve it in that way, or people that don't really pay attention to it actually have the option to reserve, so they don't get pushed off and all of a sudden they're trying to figure out why their computer isn't up to date, why it's this, and why Microsoft's squawking at them to free up space and everything else when they are just trying to use their computer. And then they are going to have intelligent active hours. Now, I would go into, when you go check into Windows Update, you can actually go and set your active hours. Go do that if you want, or put it to this intelligent active hours. I've had mine set and it does a pretty good job. It actually asks me when I do a Windows update now on my fast ring computer, hey, would you like me to restart, or would you like me to pause if I'm using it? Other than that, it seems to actually do it when I'm not actually using the device so far, and maybe Microsoft has hit something here and actually made it useful. So that was a huge improvement. And I like that it's an improvement where I don't have to be restarting in the middle of something I'm actually trying to get accomplished. So they also simplified the start menu for the out-of-box experience, so it won't be a double start menu. Basically, why did they shorten it up? Just a little minor improvement there. They also have Windows sandboxes now, and I believe this is with Pro on up. And so one thing that's really cool about this, let's say you get a piece of software that you're unsure about, you can install it into the sandbox environment, which allows you to basically have it, or basically not affect any of your actual computing stuff, your local system. So sandbox, once it's done, you throw it out, you're good to go. It's like it wasn't even there. So I like that improvement. That's a good, nice security thing for people that need to try out something or are unsure about something. Hopefully Microsoft even brings that down into maybe where people just try to install stuff when they're trying to fix your stuff that seems like Windows broke, and maybe sandbox more items, but that's a iteration in the future. Game bar improvements for the gamers out there. There are game bar improvements. I don't know how many of you use game bar. I wish Microsoft, this isn't like breathtaking and like, oh, Microsoft's introducing something where we make sure gaming performance is the best possible, all performance of your computer gets to go to gaming when you're gaming. No, Microsoft is just improving the game bar experience. I'd rather them focus on making sure that, hey, this is going to be a great gaming experience. Here's how we turn off stuff, and we're going to make sure when you play games, that's the only thing that's going to be going. So maybe Microsoft's going to do that in the future, but they did say that. One thing I would like to mention with this is that if you make sure your games are updated, I believe Windows might not even update until BattleEye anti-cheat software gets updated. So there is a bug with it which causes your computer to crash if you have games with anti-cheat that don't work with the newer Windows. Yep, so make sure your games are up to date. That was, I would say it was an oversight on Microsoft's part, but the anti-cheat software had to update their side for Microsoft. There's also improved security, and with that as well, Microsoft has ability to sign into the computer without a password, so you can get a text, then you go submit the code into it, and you can log back into your computer. So that's just the basic rundown of all of what is basically new in Windows, this new version of Windows 10 in the May update. Just some basic stuff. I think that Microsoft really put forth an effort to try to round out and correct some of the mistakes that they did in 1809. Time will tell. I haven't had any issues with it on my fast ring computer. I did try one computer at work because I got to kind of test on that side as well. But I'm going to be very cautious about this update. I'm going to probably take a look at maybe a couple machines here and get them up slowly just to see what Microsoft is doing, if they're really reliable, because I can't really afford to lose data on all the other machines here. And with like my production machine where I'm editing video together, I really don't want that thing to go down either. So let me know let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or comments or what things you might have found in this Windows 10 version. And if you have any problems, I really want to know. File that feedback, and I want to know in the comments, because Windows needs to be more stable than what it was last update, and hopefully this is a start for Microsoft starts turning the corner. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to help support Graya Overload and helping this channel grow. And until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.